Welcome to Release Your Potential Now with Jane, your weekly dose of energy, wisdom, and healing, where we explore how energy shapes your life and how you can shift it to thrive in every area physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Each week, we'll dive into practical tools, real-world examples, and quantum energy perspectives to help you stay positive, navigate challenges, and reclaim your personal power. Whether you're dealing with stress, seeking balance, or curious about the energetic world around you, this is your space for insight, growth, and transformation.
Hi, this is Jane Phillips, and welcome to Release Your Potential Now. I'm so happy to be with you as we step into a brand new month and a brand new series. I'm a certified medical intuitive, psychic medium, and do paranormal energy clearings all over the world from Santa Fe, New Mexico, in my office. So June is about realignment. We also have the summer solstice on the 20th of this month, and it's another chance to restart. So some of the topics we're going to cover in June is how to get things clear so that you can, if you've fallen behind on whatever, that this is another time to restart. So June is about realignment, about pausing and clearing what's no longer needed and reclaiming your sense of flow, mentally, emotionally, and energetically. I call this month's series The Aligned Path, Clear the Noise, Trust Your Gut, and Reclaim Your Flow. And we're starting where it all begins, with your physical space. So I know I've been talking about a lot of energetic things, and this is an energetic in a different way. So today's episode is called Clear Your Space, Clear Your Head. And we're going to talk about why clutter, especially the kind that hides in corners and piles, can block your clarity, drain your energy, and create mental static. I'll also share a couple of my favorite simple techniques. A 5-minute timer trick to start clearing without overwhelm, and another quick visual organizing tip that creates almost instant energetic relief. I learned some of these techniques almost 20 years ago when I was doing corporate work, and it's very easy to get a cluttered desk in the work that I was doing. And so I found this at that time. It was an audio tape. We don't have tapes anymore. It's not even CDs. But these couple of tricks have helped me throughout my life. So this episode is here to help you feel lighter, cleaner, and more mentally focused as we head toward the summer solstice and the second half of the year. So let's get started. So I don't know if you know anything about feng shui, which is a Japanese practice of aligning things in your space and rooms dedicated to a certain part of something called the bagua that is for relationships. One part of your house might be relationships, another for financial, another for families. But let's begin with the connection between your environment and your energy field. So everything is energy, even the things sitting on your desk, in your closet, under your kitchen sink. Every object holds frequency. Some things bring joy and inspiration. Others hold guilt, stagnation, or emotional residue. When your home or office is cluttered, your nervous system and energy body stay in low-level alert mode. Even if you're not conscious of it, your body knows there's unfinished business in your environment. So clutter often equals mental fog, emotional heaviness, creative blocks, disconnection from your intuition, lots of overwhelm, especially if you have big piles of things you mean to get to, and it's just not happening. So, and then you try very hard. You say, I'm going to deal with this today. I'm going to deal with this. And you get distracted by other things and nothing happens. So if you've been feeling stuck or scattered, this may be one of the most direct ways to shift your vibration fast. And we're going to talk about what that is in a minute. So here's some clues that clutter is affecting your energetic system. You walk into a room and feel instantly overwhelmed or drained. You avoid certain spaces or closets entirely. It's a maybe later. For some of you, it may be the garage you can't even park in. You feel off or irritable in your own home, and it's hard to make decisions and trust your gut. So sometimes people come to me for an energy healing, and the block isn't just emotional. It's tied to the objects and spaces around them. Clutter can act like energetic noise, drowning out your intuition and weighing down your sense of clarity. And there's the additional piece of guilt because you haven't dealt with it. The good thing is you don't have to do a massive overload or overhaul to get relief. So what I want to offer is a 5-minute timer trick and a visual fix too. But I'm going to spend a little bit more time on the timer trick because we have the time to do that. And it's really, really helpful. So what this 5-minute tip is it's one I use myself, and I've recommended it to many clients, and it's incredibly simple. To start, you're feeling overwhelmed, you have no time to do anything, and you think you need an hour, you think you need 2 hours, but you don't have that time, and so you don't start. And so it just keeps overwhelming you. So it's really handy if you have a timer that has a clicker to it, like the old timer with the dial that you could turn and you can hear it going for you. Because now you're hearing that, I got to get it done, I got to get it done. So set a timer for 5 minutes. And in those 5 minutes, you pick one small, manageable area to work on. I sometimes pick my junk drawer. I live in a tiny house, so my junk drawer is not really as junky because I don't have space for it to be. But pick something small. And what I would do is I would give myself 5 minutes on the junk drawer to just empty it. Everything would go out. 5 minutes. And so there wasn't a chance to look at anything. It was just a chance to get everything out of the junk drawer and onto the counter. So if you're looking at a single drawer, or your junk drawer, or it could be your cutlery drawer, it could be your car console, a makeup tray, could be a junk drawer bowl, even your purse or wallet. Give yourself 5 minutes to empty everything. Generally, if you've got that, then you've got 5 minutes. You can set your timer again. Most people will do this. And if you're picking something, don't pick your wallet or your purse, but pick something like manageable junk drawer. Empty it all out, and then set your timer again for 5 minutes to put everything back. And your phone is turned off, except for if it's the timer. And this gives you between 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes. Maybe you have to set another 5-minute timer to put everything back in. But now you've made progress toward your goal. If you know you have 20 minutes, maybe you set a 20-minute timer. I find that as long as you stay out of the weeds by not getting on social media or doing something else when you go to put something in a room, this will be really helpful. I've had the situation where the only thing was to clear off a table that had a bunch of junk on it, and it was all clear and beautiful, and I felt compelled to put some flowers in the middle of it. And most of the stuff got put back where it belonged. And if I heard my ticking going on, if it went into a different room, I would leave the room after I replaced everything. And what this is going to do is it's going to change the energy of your space. You're not trying to finish everything. You're just taking intentional, bite-sized actions. When the timer goes off, Take a breath. Notice how even that small action created a shift. And if you feel like you need another 5 minutes, do that. If you feel like you can set a timer for 15, I wouldn't set it for an hour. I would do little chunks because you can get bunny trailed really easy in an hour and even 20 minutes. So this method works because it gets you started without overwhelm. And it creates forward momentum. You've done something. And it begins to clear emotional and energetic weight. You're showing your body and your energy field that change is safe, doable, and grounding. Most of us have the problem of trying to do too much at once. And there is a gentleman I follow named James Clear who has a book called Atomic Habits. And when he's talking about things to get done, he talks about 2-minute chunks of things to do, and that everything moves you forward. Because if you compound 2 minutes a day to something over the course of a year, you get to figure out how much progress you've made toward moving forward. So don't be afraid of small bites. A small bite is better than no bites and moves you forward. So you're clearing, you're getting started without overwhelm. It creates forward momentum, as I said. It begins to clear emotional and energetic weight. You're showing your body and your energy field that change is safe, doable, and grounding. So this is my other one that I had almost forgotten about. But it's so instantaneous that it's really doable. And I forgot to bring with me the support. I was going to show you what these look like. But another energetic and visual reset that works literally within minutes is if you're somebody who has piles of paper on the countertop or books and they can't stack up right easily. If they can, you can do that. So another trick is, especially for people who work from home, and a lot of us do that nowadays, or have piles of paper, as I said, on counters, tabletops, or desks. So you can buy a pair of bookends that are nice looking. Don't get the cheap ones if you can afford, or get the cheap ones if that's what your budget is. And you can take your papers, you don't have to sort them. You can take your papers, move them this way, and slam the bookends. They have to be strong enough. And maybe the ones that are more solid, like a stone one, or 2 rocks. You can go find 2 rocks outside and put them in. Now you've moved your clutter this way instead of this way, and it's visually better. What I like to do, if it's within your means, is there are all sorts of magazine holders that are made of metal or cardboard or wood. And so things that are kind of floppy, like papers, or some of the books I have are paperbacks, and they tend to flop. So if you take all those papers, you don't have to sort them. This is about helping you mentally with visual clutter. So buy a couple, 2 or 3, and see which is, or buy one and see if it works for you. And take those papers that are stacked like this, turn them this way. It isn't about sorting them, it's getting them off your desk. And what it's going to do, or off the flat part of your desk, first of all, you're going to have more room, space, whether it's kitchen, desk, or office. And you just slap them in, and now it's up. You're still going to have to deal with it, but now visually, you've changed the energy for positive. And I have had stories of people whose boss at work, when we all used to really be more in the workspace, the person took this class that I referred to. I got it on tape. They took it live, and they went back to the office, and they had some bookends or some magazine holders. They threw all their stuff in like this and shoved everything back. It looked all neat and organized. And their boss thought that the organizing class that he paid for was a huge success. Now, the employees still had to deal with the stuff, but energetically, it also looked better for them. And then you can grab a section at a time and work your way through it. So buy a pair of bookends or solid magazine holders. And they can, as I said, be metal, wood, or even sturdy cardboard. You can label them if you finally get some categories that have loose papers. And these things can take loose paper clutter and place it upright almost immediately. And you're not, as I said before, necessarily sorting or dealing with the papers yet. You've just transformed the visual energy of the space. So why this works. Upright is active and intentional. Piles are massive and draining and overwhelming. And it instantly clears surface space and creates a sense of calm and order. So now you're taking this stuff that takes up more space and spills all over to here and creates so much more order. You still have to deal with it, as I said. But in the meantime, this trick gives you a feeling of spaciousness and relief, and that matters. It clears enough energetic weight that your mind can breathe. So, a little commercial. If you're ready to let go of the energy that's weighing you down, physically, emotionally, or spiritually, book a one-to-one clearing session with me, and you can do that at janecphillips.com. And let's reset your energy field together. When you clear the clutter, your clarity returns. So here's where the magic happens. Once the clutter is gone, you can hear yourself again. You're not being distracted by it all the time. You don't have guilt about piles. A sense of calm you might feel that you haven't felt in weeks. An intuitive idea might rise up because you're not being distracted by all the clutter. A decision becomes clear, or even just more space to breathe. You're looking at a neater, more organized house. And if you're the clutter person in the family, I was a little bit of that. Other people around you are going to notice that things feel better for them too. So if you're in a household, you're doing your little bit there and teaching other people to be able to do that too. Even with papers that you're just not ready to let go of, it's going to clean up the space for the entire household. And clearing your space is a spiritual act. It tells the universe, God, whatever, I'm ready, I'm open, and I trust. So tomorrow morning or today, set your timer, choose one small spot. Don't tackle your whole office or your whole kitchen, and start 5 minutes at a time. You're reclaiming your clarity and creating space for your next chapter. So that's it for today's episode. Thank you for joining me in this beautiful act of release and clarity. Next week on June 10th, we'll take it a step further. Our episode is called Clear Your Mind, Hear Your Inner Voice. I'll guide you through practices to quiet mental noise and connect with your intuitive wisdom, including how to use the quiet early morning hours to get focused before the day takes over. Until then, clear a little space, listen for the clarity that follows, and know that your aligned path is already unfolding. We'll see you next time on Release Your Potential Now.
You've been listening to Release Your Potential Now with Jane, your weekly dose of energy wisdom and healing. Tune in on Transformation Talk Radio to unlock the power of energy healing and transform your life one insight at a time. Share this episode with a friend who's feeling stuck and might benefit from a little extra support on their journey. Together, we can create a ripple effect of healing and positivity, empowering individuals to live healthier, more joyful lives. Are you ready to gain control of your life and health? Then visit janecphillips.com to book a session, join a workshop, or explore how energy wisdom can help you heal and thrive.